Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Our channel covers a range of topics including current events, fitness, personal development, and technology to help you look, feel, and live your best life. Tune in for actionable advice and engaging discussions. We the willing, led by the unknowing, are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
So join up. Do your part. There's a long war ahead, and we need you. So join up. Do your part. There's a long war ahead, and we need you.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it? Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
About how we can better ourselves and further ourselves, further your mind, you know what I'm saying?
How you gon' wear my trunks when the last one
Let's be clear. This is
How you gon' be no love when the bag don't sleep?
invasion. Green
DP crash your feelings in the middle of the street. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the hoes was at. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the bros was at. 3:30 in the morning, scroll through the call up. Ain't nobody but the mirror looking for the fall off. I love when you count me out. 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 My name is in your mouth.
Might be about you. Might be about you.
conductor. Welcome to the new gold era. Yo, this that purple technique for Cody vibes. Hey yo, imagine getting murdered with the case in the Sub Village. DJ Drama.
Hey yo, I'ma take it back to the ski mask Chanel. So yo, with my mail, I can never fail. I can be through you, I can tell you a tale. You ain't never ate rules, Chris in a cell. Everything grab, you moving at a pace of a snail. Supreme clientele, cause my cocaine pal is rap doing alright. My dope house well with Egypt, reading Portland's Carter doing well on a mountain. R&B pictures on my bandwagon. Boxes cost 500, I got my pants sagging. If you had to drive 50 miles, you was head cracking. Back when I popped the Infinite, I had the less wagon. True story, I could get anything done. Runway, Gucci, jeans, suit, hair in the bar, Santorini, black sand, dick sucks in the sun. The top 3 and not 3 or 2, but I'm the Vanetta love. See me, I'm the model type. Balenciaga torty with the piranha bites. Ace rolls on ice. Hit you broad day, fuck you in the pole lights. Nigga, I'm dose nice.
Returning the boom back with 2 million on the wrist. DJ Drama.
Yo, top brown sailor, surrounded by Trump every day. I dare you to step to the guard, you be a failure. Peace all my niggas live from the east, Fireball, Gangsters, boy. Got a fresh 15 who throwing aces. I'm stepping on your shit, drum automatic. And don't forget to switch, hold up.
Now spin black on you niggas. Go harder.
Hey yo, ain't nobody fresher, that's word to my high man. Brains everywhere on the wall, go get some diamond. Back to back, on Perry on about the vomit. Hanging out the hard van, ghost with the chopstick. Everything I see you niggas, yeah, I never rocked it. But the little Vans burn a hole through your pocket. I ain't see the Mark 3 engagement, stop it. Shake that shit, bitch, shake it and drop it, man. I'm immortal, all lost time for it, time for what we talk about. Put the 40 in your jaw, I'm a maniac. Couple million on the floor, ain't nobody fucking with the Fendi overall. Pump down the bag leg, yeah, I miss to show it off. Yeah, I miss to run up on your broad, damn blow it off. Yeah, I miss to send a dummy pack through the thorn off.
Shootouts every day. Niggas don't dance no more. All they do is this.
Super Fly Guy.
Shootouts every day. Niggas don't dance no more. All they do is this.
Super Fly Guy.
There's more. Because you are going to see it as well.
Yes, it.
Yes, it. Yes. Namely, the Max Syndrome story. And there's more. Because you are going to see it as well.
Yes, it.
Yes, it. Yes. Namely, the Max Syndrome story.
There is no nobility in poverty. I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man. There is no nobility in poverty. I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man.
She believes in equality, unless you bring up the military draft. Accountability is her kryptonite. Therapists call her a walking gold mine. She thinks sleeping with dozens of men empowers her, and even the men she sleeps with agree. She shouts her abortions, and let's just say she shouts a lot. She's a happiness coach, even though she's miserable. She was taught there's over 70 genders in college, and it costs tens of thousands of dollars to learn. She self-diagnoses and likes telling everyone about it. She hates when men objectify women's bodies, but for $4.99 a month, you can objectify hers. She calls herself a boss-ass bitch. Others just call her a bossy bitch. She has a lot of cats, but not nearly as many as she will have. She has a dad, but she doesn't really talk to him. He doesn't think we live in World War II Germany. No, she thinks we live in an even worse time and place. She nags to go on podcasts to debate, and then sues them when she loses. Her OnlyFans is worth less than a McDonald's breakfast. She likes black men until they display misogyny. Then she calls the cops, who are all bastards, by the way. She is the most feminist woman in the world.
What do you got? Huh? Come on!
Round one.
Fight!
Watch out!
What do you got?
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
Sure enough.
Oh, damn. Let me tell you something. The world, it don't owe you a fucking thing. Not respect, not success, not even a goddamn thank you. You want it? You take it, or you shut the fuck up.
multi-grain bread with the mayonnaise spread. Vegan cheese, spinach leaves, ain't no meat on my shit. Reading How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah. They asked me if I still eat pork, now cipher. I've been civilized since I was in diapers. Real hood nigga just trying to live righteous. When I do a show, you know my fans gon' be the hypest. Ice World niggas be the motherfucking livest. We made it through the storm like cancer survivors. My team gon' eat till we all get the itis and pull up in Ferrari 488 Spiders. My head on the swivel, watching out for the snipers. They wanna do me like Chinks. They wanna do me like Harold at the light for them gold Cuban links. I don't pump fake, I put my life on these beats. On the road to success, I've been driving for weeks. This that top floor balcony rap. This that Harley Davidson bike with your girl on the back. This that fly shit, no cap. This that travel all across the world and go to every place on the map. This that top floor balcony rap. This that Harley Davidson bike with your girl on the back. This that fly shit, no cap. This that travel all across the world and go to every place on the map.
Oh, damn.
Niggas ain't fucking with me, man.
On decorations. But the white boys had told all them French gals that we had tails. Then they found this ignorant colored soldier. Paid him to tie a tail to his ass and run around half naked making monkey sounds. They put him on a big round table in the Cafe Napoleon. Put a reed in his hand, crown on his head, blanket on his shoulders, and made him eat bananas and Frenchies. Oh, the white boys danced that night. Passed out leaflets with that boy's picture on it. Called him Moonshine, King of the Monkeys. And when we slit his throat, you know that fool asked us what he had done wrong.
Country shot.
My daddy told me we got to turn our backs on this kind, Wilkie. Close our ranks to the chitlins, the collard greens, the cornbread style. We are men, soldiers, and I don't intend for our race to be cheated out of its place of honor and respect in this war.
The pupils burn from the gaze of the sunlight. Trying to go legit this time with no gunfight. Straight flights to Ghana. My man got the gold connect. Bow-legged dude with chicks on deck. He got Navy sailors moving their crypto specs. Maybach Hummer, sound like a discotheque. His brother Stan blew off his own hand. He's in the mausoleums, couldn't show his wrist back on. It's in the Coliseum. The monster's out, straight down in the Opera House. Scorpion pendant, red stone in a lobster mouth. Diamonds embroidered in the Chinaware. Speaking through Tesla phones. Tucked behind the ear, Snow White Royce. Guts red with lasagna chairs. Scarface party was raw with mad lines in there. Everybody holding. Rock Wilders, mad nines in there. Hitters with gold fronts frontin'. What the concierge? 50 years of hip hop. New York is the mascot. City is the backdrop. One more, you can holler at me. You can holler at me.
That I gotta be the best of them all. That just cut and dried. I'm the best. Whether you like it or not, you're looking at, the greatest, the best looking man, the best dressed man, long limousines, jet airplanes, custom made clothes, and any woman in the world I want, just like that. You know what? Let's face it, if you're not carrying the big gold, you're second best no matter what you tell yourself. So gear up, ladies and gentlemen. Get used to it. Who you're looking at, the man.
The almighty, the legendary Westside.
Hollow be thy name, Are you really ready?
Fly God himself.
You're looking at the man.
Dom DeMarco. Dom DeMarco. Dom DeMarco.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. You son of a bitch! 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 You.
You're now rocking with the hottest DJ. With the hottest DJ. Dropping banger after banger. Bring it on now! This is your girlfriend's favorite DJ. Yes. Spinning on the ones and twos.
Check it out.
The dopest beats are ready. Testing speakers. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's go. This is the hottest DJ in the city. Live in the mix. It's the one. It's the one and only. You are now rocking with the doctor of all mixes. Make some noise for Mixing Genius will the floor in 3, 2, 1. This.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Show will begin now.
Yo, what up? 1 2 1 2. All right, we sound good. Let me get a sound check. Saul.
Salute.
You sound good, Tito.
Yeah, what up?
Yo, what up, Mr. O? What does it sound like?
What it do?
All right, bet. You sound good. All right, yo, salute to the chat, man. I see y'all piling in here. Okay, the Cloud Watchers are coming in. All right, good. Universal Black, Gold P, Brother Zeke, Irvin Reed. I seen Kwame up in here. No News. I think I got everybody. Carrington Morris, Music Man, Southwest Philly in the building. Let's go. All right. Been a hell of a week, man. Outspoken introvert. I see you, Playboy. Been a hell of a week, man. Let's just get opening statements, man. Let's just get right down to it. Derek Wilson in the building. I see you, Playboy, man. I appreciate you, bro. So, what you got for me, man? Opening statement. Been a hell of a week, man.
Yeah, it's been most definitely hell of a week. Looks like we continue to watch the fallout from the whole, Charlie Kirk fiasco. I mean, I guess the highlight of this week was obviously the boxing match. Hopefully you gentlemen watched it. If not, if you're just a boxing fan or just for the sport, it's worth a look back. Then you obviously got other things going on with college football, and just seeing how things shake up in a race. Things are really starting to really take an identity with these teams and stuff with the third week. Where they really probably going to start their conference play or whatnot. So just some interesting stuff going on, man. So, yep, that's where I'm at with it.
All right, but Tito, it's all yours, man.
Pay attention to how the media is going to try to bury the advent of this transgender violence, and pay attention to how many shells and vests and things that you have yourself laying around, because pretty soon these people are going to start organizing militias. I'm gonna tell you this right now. when even local law enforcement cracks down on one of these people, or one of them gets scared and becomes an informant and decide to snitch on the rest of them, it's gonna be trouble. It's gonna be trouble. And what they're gonna do is they are gonna attack soft targets, grocery stores, places like that. Your kids might be at the pool, they might come spray up the pool, stuff like that. Just telling y'all.
Yo, all right, bet. I'm glad you said that, because that's a segue into one of our segments today too. Because I want to. Well, fuck it. Let me just say it off the top. Tito, you the first person I heard say that. That was post Trump's election, saying that the trans violence was going to be an issue. Like, I had never heard nobody really. I mean, it was out there, but not that it was going to be the forefront of the shit. And I just, like, I'll say it again. I said it when we did the Charlie Kirk joint, and Tina after, like, you know, I thought it was somewhat hyperbolic, but this is the crux of the violence. And we're going to do a segment on that later, maybe 2 segments off from the top segment. And to piggyback on what you said before I pass it to Mr. O, is that the sleight of hand right now is, and that speaks to my poll that's in the chat, is that they trying to use the the race thing, the black thing, as a proxy to block the whole trans issue. Like, if you look on the internet, aside from the white people, nobody's actually even talking about that he's trans. It's all that he had some racist commentary and blah 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 blah. But the issue is, it's a trans shooter. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't in this shit, bro. Like, y'all handle that shit. But we gonna get to that. Mr. O, what you got for me, Playboy?
What's good? So I'm still kind of upset that Trump has not sent the National Guard here. I mean, he went to another more downtrodden city in the southern region called Memphis. Maybe they need just a little bit more attention than Chicago, but at the same time though, things is only getting worse here in Chicago, just like throughout the whole other parts of the country. These leftist cities, these big old cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, they're basically a haven for these dementic, sick individuals that basically celebrate the death of their fellow countrymen despite his beliefs or his thoughts or opinions. This is supposed to be a nation of free speech in which we are all, despite how we might feel about the individual points of view and how they want to go ahead and proceed to live, as long as it doesn't affect people's personal freedoms or lives. Their so-called lives should not be made into a mockery, into a laughing stock, even if the person in question went against people's narratives, people's questionable lifestyles, even lives and everything in between. But RIP to Charlie Kirk. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? F him at the same time, but RIP at the same time. I just want to go ahead and put that out there. Also, these leftists, and shout out to Tito again, because he was the first one to go ahead and make a whole thought process, a whole discussion about these trans assassins. These trans assassins are out here. They are dangerous and they are very bad for of the public well-being. And I pass the mic right there.
All right, facts. Yo, Tito, check the private chat too.
Yeah, I did.
I got you. All right, I see it. Yeah, and I'm from Philly, and we had a trans mass shooter in Philly, and they were black. So, like, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, but let me go ahead and say one add on to this. I'm surprised that these so-called same leftists want to go ahead and say that this was a person that was from the right, a person that was came from a conservative family, despite the fact that all the everything that came out, he was trans, he followed the Antifa agenda, he was part of the leftist minded people and the movements and everything, but they weren't going to tell you that that don't matter. He was still a far right person. So they say that Charlie Kirk got taken out by his own people.
Yo, spot on. We're gonna piggyback on that point that you just made, because we got a little segment on that with a little bit of research. And actually, just to piggyback one other thing, Them saying that he came from a Republican family, that's not a flex. And it's actually proof that the schools are that the universities are indoctrinating the kids. They don't get that part. Like that shit is not a flex. All right, so we're gonna start this joint off with the top.
While you doing that, I just want to at least address a point that Mr. O put out there. He was saying that he just pointed at Trump not arriving in Chicago as opposed to Detroit on the Mississippi, Memphis, right? I would say this much, bro. I think that Trump did a pump fake.
Okay.
I think he did that on purpose because you got to remember, Chicago and its machinery, and you know the saying about Chicago is it is one of the most, if not the most, political city outside of DC proper. Okay, as much machinery is there, right? Even more so than New York, right? We talk about years and years, right, of embedded Democratic hotbed. I think what he did was do a pump fake and monitor and gather intel. You know what I mean? Because going to Chicago right now, do you think that he's going to be able to roll up with APCs with no incident during this past week?
Facts.
Right? So, you know, it will just look bad on it, you know, on from a press standpoint. They probably assess the risk and the cost, and it's like, nah. You understand what I'm saying, right? You have a little more cooperation in Tennessee, right? Although Memphis is a liberal island there, you have a little more cooperation there, right? And then secondly, with this whole deal, I mean, with this whole circumstance or whatnot going on, it gives him to continue to do what he needs to do and those folks to do what they need to do operationally until things kind of die down a bit. I'll land my plane. I just want to, you know, ask Mr. O, what does he think about that?
Oh, I think that's very true, and I agree with you, Saul. That it could be a pump fake. He could be like, let me go ahead and clean up just the bad parts of Memphis, like North Memphis, Orange Mountain, stuff like that, just to show presence and show Chicago what possibly could happen to them very, very soon if they don't get their ish together.
And it's kind of symbolic in some ways of Obama's backyard. Symbolically.
Yeah. Where he got his bones from and all that. Yeah. It'll make a good, very standing point against Mr. Obama, the anchor baby himself.
Yeah. Well, just something to consider. It's just, you know, something I was thinking about earlier. I'm like, why would he go to Memphis, you know? I digress. I'll let my plane there, though.
No, I think that's actually spot on. And you're usually spot on with these political plays that be happening on the national stage. Oh, before we even get started, some housekeeping. I just it's on the screen. It's on the screen, but I just spammed the chat. Oh, look at you, brother Zeke ahead of the game. He said, Tito, the book is looking nice. I'm gonna let you know once I finish it. And using that as a segue, I just spammed the chat with the link to Tito's book, 12 Rules for Black Men, and I'm gonna re-spam it. Hit the link, buy the brother's book. Brother Zeke is already letting you know that it's solid, and he's gonna let you know when he finish it. And I've already heard one of the chapters of it. I did a shameless plug months ago on it. And once again, man, we got brothers down in the space writing books. Big things being done. Brother Zeke's in class 7 too with Theo. But let's get cracking. Tito wanted to cover all these liberals freaking out on social media because they are losing their jobs because of the oh, there you go, Tito. Kwame said, yeah, I'm waiting for my copy now. Yo, salute to our chat, man. They really be supporting the channel and be supporting the moves down here. But we wanted to we're gonna do some commentary on the irony of these libs being fired post inflammatory Charlie Kirk statements on the internet. And I'm gonna echo something that Tito did a follow-up stream earlier this week after we did our main stream the day of Charlie Kirk's shooting, and I think he and we restated it when we were talking with Obsidian, but Tito's had a phrase something like that: the moderate right died with Charlie Kirk. And I'll give you a little behind the scenes. When it happened, I think me, Saul, and Tito were on the phone like immediately, like after the shooting, like it was, and we all were like no briefing or anything. All three of us understood the significance of like the shooting. Now when I'm listening, and you guys will notice I didn't do a news desk last night because all the news was Charlie Kirk. There was nothing for me to cover. I was like, I'm just going to let this die down. But what I have been doing is listening to social media content creators and the news. And then I'm hearing a lot of people on the black side. I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was exactly. And for people who don't get why this is such a big thing, I liken the analogy to this. And I said this to Saul before we went on. Charlie Kirk's like the Bobby Kennedy of the right for our day and time. And he was 31, and he was young. So that's the impact and that's why y'all are shocked now at all the backlash and corporations firing people and vigils all over the globe. You know what I'm saying? Because you got, you're not on the right. Most of you blacks are primarily on the left. So you didn't, you know what I'm saying? But I follow politics pretty closely on all sides. That's why me, Tito, and Saul knew right away, like, oh, this is bad. All right, so let's look at these goofies losing their jobs.
All right, let's go. I want to see this.
You're fired! Get out! You're fired!
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my fucking job. Now I have nothing but this. I have nothing but this website. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore.
I've just been told I've been fired.
To the person that sent that video to corporate and got me fired, thank you. And I know that everybody is gonna see this video too, and that's okay. I'm not gonna say anything wrong. Did I realize that what I was saying in that video was going to lead to this? No, I would have never fucking done that.
You're fired! Get out! You're fired!
I got fired! I got me fired from my job! I woke up and told myself the shit from the Charlie Kirk shit from yesterday. What the fuck? I'm gonna pay my rent! What the fuck? Y'all thought y'all was gonna not get me fired when y'all did!
I made some stupid comments about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot. I said some things on Blue Sky and on Threads that I'm sorry, not sorry for, but I said them and I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today on a weekend, I'm told that I am no longer employed at Microsoft. After 6 years, building the diversity, equity, and inclusion department from scratch, I lose my job because one of you, some random person, reports my posts to my employer, goes out of their way to find out where I work and takes my job, takes my security away from me for a thought, for an opinion. And you talk about freedom of speech like you care about it. And you're just going to take my money, my life, my food off my plate because I don't like Charlie Kirk? That's not okay. It is not okay to target me because I felt joy that day. I can't help how I feel. I felt joy. That's me. That's what I believe. That's what I think of him. I can't help that. So I don't deserve a job?
And told me that they could either fire me or I could put a resignation in, but that would look better. But they fired me, or they're getting rid of me because of my TikTok and the book post. Somebody screenshot a lot of my TikToks and wrote a nasty letter, and in my Facebook screenshot those and mailed them to the office to my boss. I think it's unfair that somebody would be that malicious to do that to me. I would never hurt anybody. Not like that. Not intentionally like that. But somebody did that, and I think it's somebody that works in the office. I mean, why? Why? I'm nice. I am a genuinely nice person. I'm nice to everybody. All I know.
I got me fired on my job. I woke up and told myself the shit from the shit from yesterday. What the fuck? I gotta pay my rent. What the fuck? Y'all I thought y'all was gonna not get me fired when y'all did.
Fucking job! I was just fired from my fucking job!
Yo, y'all got it right in the chat though. It's a rogues gallery of weirdos. Tito, this is your segment. Why don't you set it off and then we pass it to Saul, and then I'll read some of the comments in the chat, and we do Mr. O.
You know, it was enjoyable after the tragedy to watch this rogues gallery of clowns actually gripe about being fired from their jobs. I don't understand what it is sometimes about being a leftist that detaches you from reality. Now, if you've seen people even before the advent of the internet being like it is now, in the infancy of the internet, you saw people get fired. You know, some of those girls that were on the Girls Gone Wild videos lost their jobs back in the day, right? So if they lost they jobs for showing showing they rack and Mardi Gras, then what do you think that is going to happen to you if you cheer on somebody's political assassination? That's like getting on there and inciting violence. That is really no different. I don't know what they thought was going to happen, and I understand that it's a lot of leftist shit that goes on at these jobs, but these people that work at these jobs got to realize something. Number one, them people there is not your friend. So, a lot of these people that got fired, they employers probably looking to get rid of their ass anyway. Somebody in their direct management was probably looking to get rid of their ass anyway, and they just found the excuse. You never give people the excuse. One of the laws of power, they say, is to make yourself indispensable to your employer, to your leader or whatever. And I guess these people didn't do that, and they found the excuse and they fired their ass. It's as simple as that. But these people, these employers are not stupid. They know, they understand what a lot of people seem not to understand this country right now. The same thing that make you laugh can make you cry. That's why that's why now looking at this montage, anybody who didn't like the tone of my show when I talked about Charlie Kirk, now you see why I had the tone that I had, because I didn't want to send none of y'all asses off to get fired. That's why I didn't have my shit like I was having a congratulatory tone, because it wasn't nothing to be happy about, first of all. Unless you finna go out and put in work on somebody like him yourself, why should you be happy? If you want them going that bad, well, no, it's plenty of tools out there. There's plenty of leather gloves out there. Why you living vicariously through somebody else? That's one thing. But then the other thing is like the same difference of opinion that could get him knocked off could get you knocked off too. So what's you happy about it for? The same difference of opinion that got him knocked off can get me knocked off too. So why would I be happy? It's a matter of fact, even a full decade before this happened to Charlie Kirk, I've had people sending me death threats online, and occasionally still do, and get threatening phone calls. So that's why I understand that this ain't nothing to play with, because this is something I go through in my real life. But yeah, the same thing that make you laugh can make you cry. And that's why I had a really even tone when I did my live. And plus, I know the modern day workplace, a lot of these companies, they have these big giant ass handbooks that people don't read through, and then you get fired for something that's in the handbook, and then you find out that a social media policy was one of them. Matter of fact, I've seen some handbooks, and this is even as late as a decade ago. I've seen handbooks where they had like 4 pages dedicated to social media alone. Right? So, hey, all I can say is don't send yourself off. But these employers, they not stupid. Like I said, they know the same thing to make you laugh can make you cry. So you could be one of these people with a pretty big TikTok channel or a pretty good Facebook following that get on here and say something like this, and the employer not fire you, and then somebody come walk you down in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that shit at their job. Then that's another reason they fired these people. And I'll land my plane now.
Well played, well played. Saul yours. Say my line of questioning. What say you to this rogues gallery of firings? You gotta unmute yourself.
I said solid and all encompassing by Tito, by the way, but I was about to say your boy who's hysterical, the Latino guy, is gonna be at Trader Joe's looking for organic cat food, trying to figure out, how's this cat going to eat, because you know what I'm saying? Like, these weirdos, bro. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's funny to, actually show the graphics of the people we're dealing with, the people who like to stir up stuff, who have constant disorder in their life, and they want everybody else to feel the misery and the burn. And, obviously they were super tough on the keyboard and stuff like that. And some even is so bold to, threaten people's lives and livelihoods as they've been doing. They've been doing this at least since 2013, 2014, when cancellation really, got in vogue, or whatever the case may be. I think it's good, for them to, like, I'm not gloating or anything like that, to get a dose of their own medicine, because being fired is nothing but a fraction of the pain that they will feel, actually, having your soul leave your body in front of your family at that, So, yeah. But, to a certain extent, I think that this sort of chink in their armor for them to feel like they're untouchable, that, they have this sort of power to just, continue to, disrespect people without any accountability. With these corporations, they're starting to show kind of a pivot and a sort of changing of the tone. Like, look, y'all are troublemakers, y'all are a liability, y'all cause problems, or whatever the case may be. And, they're exposing them for the, the sort of rats that they are. And we're moving to, I know there's going to be friction in immediate time, but I think it's going to, be at an equilibrium, hopefully equilibrium that reaches to where there's some order again, some normalcy again. I think this is the beginning of it. And that's the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll land my plane there.
Well played, sir. Well played. And Universal Black 72 got it right. He said, like Clay Davis said, she.
She got your ass.
Mr. O.
It's funny how that shit jump clipped the old boy once he said,
I got your ass.
literally, literally.
And is the irony lost on anyone that at Microsoft he was the head of DEI and he built it from the ground? A septum ring Caucasian male.
Bro, don't take that away from me.
Okay,
bro.
okay, my bad, bro. It's all yours. It's all yours. Go ahead.
Now, I just want to know. I just want to know, when did the so-called America go from the home of the brave to a nation of cowards? I just want to know that first. You know what I'm saying? The last time I checked, a particular a group called the Founding Fathers wouldn't buck on a particular nation because they wanted particular freedoms and all that good stuff. One of them being they want to say what they want to say. And now that you have to go ahead and deal with the consequences of your actions, saying what you had to say for by working for other people. See, this is what you get. Like, just know them by they I probably gonna say this wrong, but know them by their fruits. Know them by their so-called works.
Know them by their works. Yup.
Septum ring theory, DEI agenda having. They invented cancel culture. Someone put that in the chat earlier. How they like, how dare y'all use what we invented on to go ahead and get at y'all on us? How dare y'all? Yeah, y'all used to call people job because they had right-wing or conservative leaning opinions and ideologies, and you try to get them fired. But now, voila, magic. Y'all getting the same thing happen to y'all. Hey, Saul, you working in the mental health field. How many of these people do you believe that's on the screen crashing now, like the crash dummies of the old commercial days? How many you think is on them ASMR type of treatments? How many you think?
I would say a large number. I would say a large number, you know, and that's if they get treatment at all. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you know, believe they smell so much, you know, they believe they funk so much that, you know, they don't even believe that it is an issue to begin with. You understand what I mean? You know,
exactly. So you have these individuals walking around, not being diagnosed with the so-called mental illness that they display, but they'll call you the one that's crazy because you not go along and get along with this so-called progressive propaganda and agenda that's basically destroying our so-called moral fabric of our nation. And I pass the mic.
All right, solid. Let me read a couple of these. Let me read a couple of things from the chat. You guys were on it, damn near every job, social media. Let me see a couple because I was reading them while we was going on. Let me see, and then we'll jump to the next segment.
It's my favorite one right here. He said, "I lost my job.
This is, yeah, they was agreeing with you. Yeah, no business wants to lose money over these idiots' crazy posts. Music Man, the job wanted to downsize, and they didn't have to look at their past. Yeah, and they didn't have to look at their past performance. Perfect Square in the building. What up, Playboy? Let me say. I think Irvin. We here it is. Irvin Reed said, same time, his deification is also weird. And that's why I said what I said at the beginning. What I see going on with Charlie Kirk is not surprising to me. That's why I made the analogy that Black America or people in the, well, I'll say the political strategists on the left understand it. But Charlie Kirk ran Turning Point USA. He handily brought the Republicans back from the dead, and like basically Trump wouldn't have got elected without Turning Point because he converted the Gen Z vote, the 18 to 25, over to Republican. This is the first Republican election where the Republicans have outperformed the Democrats in the youth base vote. Full conversion. And he's been at this for 10 years. And he dropped out of college to start Turning Point. So that's what I said. He's akin to the right. He's their Bobby Kennedy. So that's why, like, I'm noticing a lot of people, the black content creators and stuff who are covering this, they're like, they don't get it. Like, what's the big deal? And that's what I'm saying, because y'all primarily lean left. Y'all know everything that's going on with the left. You're not concentrating on the groundswell that built, some of the foundation of the MAGA movement and what all the moving pieces were. Black men deciding to vote Trump in this small percentage. We got our 80-20 distribution that we were talking about prior to the election. We were a contributing part, but the base of that, like I said, and like Charlie Kirk knows everyone from Don Jr. to Pete Hegseth, who was the Secretary of War. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in everything. He was in mainstream, and he had a huge social media following, the whole thing. So, and he's known globally. You're seeing memorials all over the world. So it's a surprise to some people. But like I said,
and he's from the Chicagoland area too. Another one. They just come out of nowhere. Pearl, Nick Fuentes, and now him.
Yeah, it's a lot of Chicago does turn out a lot of politicals on all sides of the spectrum. So it seems weird to, like, I've been watching a lot of the black content creators. Like, a lot of them are kind of missing the plot. Like I said, I mean, for you to understand, like I said, he's the right's Bobby Kennedy. And then, like I said, it's bro. I'll piggyback on something that Tito said during his follow-up stream too. You may want to piggyback on this once I make this statement. A lot of, like, these people getting fired, and like people, a lot of y'all fell for the bait with the jump in and get in between this trans right thing. Like the bullet was fired from the alt trans left to the right. Like, we ain't need to jump in that. Like, let them fight that out and let the Trump administration clear the field. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the first times in recent American history where the full weight of the American government ain't breathing down the neck of the black man. They breathing down the neck of the immigrants and the illegals, and they tried to get y'all to jump in front of that. You know what I'm saying? And now they about to breathe down the neck of the trans, and we gonna get into that after this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sit this one out. Let them fight it out. You feel me? But that's why. But like I said, but Tito said that whole, the age of empathy for the black card, that shit's over, bro. That shit's over. Like, he was making that statement in his stream on with the follow-up stream he did on Kurt, and he's 100% accurate. Y'all gonna start seeing, it ain't gonna be direct pushback, but you're gonna see a tremendous amount of apathy. Like, y'all, like, all this being able to be like, oh, that's racist, and tears for the, like, bro, that shit gonna be dried up. Like, you'll get some fake sympathy from the left, but the American public ain't gonna. But all that y'all didn't swipe that race card, that's racist card way too many times. And after this Charlie Kirk shit, that shit over, bro. You want to piggyback on that before I go to the next segment, Tito? You gotta mute yourself, Playboy.
Yeah, like I said in my live, they successfully tricked Black America into seeing the moral high ground that we had decades ago. And I told y'all why I black pilled y'all with the why, because this is what the powers that be had to do to morally subvert the whole country. Because if black people were supposed to be at the bottom once again, and even we made a conscious effort to try to be as upstanding as possible and as neat and clean as in public and in private as possible, then everybody else had to try 20 times harder to outdo us, since we was the ones on the bottom. So then they pulled us down for that very reason. But because you've allowed yourself to be successfully pulled down, because you at one time you had the lowest prison population, now you got this fake ass stop snitching culture. At one time you had the highest marriage rate, now you got Sexy Red, and now you got the highest abortion rate. That now you don't have the moral high ground to play the whole barbershop neutrality game, or play the whole James Brown, you can have your Watergate, just give me some bucks and I'll be straight game. You gonna have to pick a side.
Yo, that's spot on. All right, let's jump into this next segment. So I'm playing these in sequence because I'm trying to build a through line. So that's people losing their jobs for the Charlie Kirk shit. Right after the Charlie Kirk shooting, and Saul be on it. Saul sent me it was posted on Instagram first, and he sent me the picture of the fake dynamite with the shit written on it. The whole shit looks fugazi, right? So right after the Charlie Kirk shit, there's all these phone threats called in the HBCUs, and niggas is running with that shit. And right when Saul told me on the phone, before I even heard, I was like, oh, that's the Democrats trying to fucking stir the pot and shift and gaslight to get the blacks all up, so people stop talking about the trans shit and they start talking about Charlie Kirk with the shit he said about Trayvon Martin, et cetera, right? Like the okie doke, right? So I'm gonna play a news clip and Saul, this is your segment. You take it from the top. All right, let's go.
The FBI now investigating threat calls made to several historically black colleges and universities. The FBI is calling the threats a hoax, saying they do not appear to be credible. However, they are taking the threat seriously. Virginia State University canceling afternoon classes and activities out of an abundance of caution. And Hampton University also receiving threats today. The university stopped all non-essential activities today and tomorrow, including sporting events. Alabama State, Southern University, and Bethune-Cookman University among those receiving threats today. Several anonymous threats have been made against HBCUs in recent years.
All right, now I'm gonna Saul, take this at the top, but I'm gonna say this. Right when Trump got elected, remember it was right after his inauguration, and all these black people got them text messages, report to the plantation and pick cotton and all that. That's the Democrat. Like, how do they have who has their numbers? The people all from the voting rolls and all that. These are the Democrats doing that, riling black people up to motherfucking be crash test dummies. You feel me? And that's what this shit is. Because just use your common sense. Far left disturbed trans shooter shoots a right wing who's a Trump supporter who's adamantly against the trans agenda. And then so the right gets upset and makes bomb threats to HBCUs instead of trans? That shit don't even make sense. Saul, it's all yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with a big get the fuck out of here.
Fucking right, bro.
Yeah, like people aren't seeing the play for what it is. Conveniently, there's all these threats. They never catch the motherfuckers. There's always hoaxes. There's always these vague texts and this, that, and the other. It's always kind of nebulous. And then you kind of gotta wonder, just like the whole book thing. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think that the Democrats. It goes back to power. It boils down to that. You have Gavin Newsom. All of a sudden, you want to come your ass over here, right? Michelle Obama, you want to come your ass over here. And all these other liberals want to come their ass over here. Okay, that didn't work. And then we were talking about these motherfuckers are going to get desperate and desperate. How can I believe anything you say if you're not sticking to your guns? Maybe making some strategic adjustments, yes. But you outright saying things to try to copy Trump. You understand what I mean? Right? So it's not even about, as much, that they believe in the people they serve. It's about, maintaining this power that they've had at all costs. You know what I mean? At all costs. So, the thing about quote unquote the black voting bloc is that whichever way people are going to swing one way or another, along with, cultural capital and social capital, right? Because, not only do they think about quote unquote black people, they also think about the residuals and influence on other people as far as potential spillage. I think that people kind of forget, oh yeah, well, black people are only so many quote unquote amount of the vote. But you do have some people who quote unquote are influenced by black people too. Let's not forget that. You know what I mean? And so they're so desperate for a "I told you so" moment. They're just looking for that. They can't seem to find it. They have to bring up something about some damn slavery exhibit at a damn museum when at the end of the fucking day we should be building our own museums, and your parents should be teaching your children black history rather than begging a white person to brainwash your kids and dilute the message of blackness and the history in this country anyway. So this is where we're at. You know, we're in a sort of limbo of political football. You know, the big formula when it comes to the political calculus or whatnot. You know what I mean? They're playing fucking games. And I hope that you all have the wherewithal to see it for what it is. You know, anybody can see some damn toilet paper rolls and stuff written on them. You know what I mean? And it doesn't make any sort of sense. You mean at the FBI and all these other alphabet agencies, when they're at their heightened alert status, right? You think you just gonna go and do something like that and get away with it if it was some like credible threats? That would be fucking stupid. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to give these guys more credit than they deserve, but no idiot would do that. You know what I mean? Right? So I would say just watch out for these plays that the Democrats are using, because they're desperate to hold on. I'll land my plane there.
Yo, absolutely spot on. Well played. And I'll piggyback real quick on that to say, like, this also shows what the left actually thinks about you. That, like, we'll just say we'll threaten them, or we'll feign something racist, and they'll run around like little monkeys, and they already know what you're gonna. That's how low they think of you. You know what I mean? Just put racist on anything, and we can count on them to run cover for us. Like, boom, racist, boom. Now they got you back in illegal aliens and shit who are taking your jobs and all this other shit. Boom, racist. Now they got you in the middle of some trans shooter shit. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, bruh.
And not only that, right? Let's even take the news stories in which they're continuing to. I mean, it's like they ain't learned their lesson yet. If we talking about misinformation and propaganda and, you know, fighting for democracy and stuff, like, you even have news outlets that are liberal leaning saying that on the shell casings, there's 3 down arrows. There's Bella Child, whatever the fuck that is, right? And when you actually, you know, use your deductive reasoning, anybody would see that this was a trans Tifa guy. You know what I'm saying, right? If you read this, you're gay, right? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying, right? But they're telling you in your face, like, this is Maga oh my God. You understand what I'm saying? And you have all these other content creators out here. I'm not going to name them, but, you know, they're seeming to, you know, parrot these points when you have common sense and critical thinking yourselves, that they're insulting your intelligence for you not to do the research to see that, you know, those 3 arrows down is, you know, is a Antifa flag or their information, or that, you know, all this information could be tied to open sources where you can actually do thorough research and come up with your own conclusion, right? But yet they tell you something different. So, I mean, you got to understand there's a bunch of moving parts, but the machine is on. The machine is on. And believe it or not, they're closer than you think. Even content creators that you've loved, that you've listened to, that you've heard, that even when you donated your hard work and earned money to them, they've made the pivot. Some of them are down here, and some of them are actually getting paid too. Be careful. And the biggest sword and shield for any thinking man down here is critical thinking. I'll land my plane there.
Well fucking played, sir. And I'll echo what Saul said. Like, bro, that's what we advocate down here. Think for your goddamn self. Like, if it don't add up, it don't add up. Quiet store, I'm a fucking fool. He said I got a phone call a week ago from the Democratic offices asking will I vote blue for the midterms. I played the Trump Many Men parody, then hung up immediately. Nigga, you a fool. Yo, Tito, that's all yours, man. What say you?
Yeah, these people, right? These leftists, I keep warning them that man, this time it is not going to be a soft, cushiony lost cause narrative for them to crash land into this time. If they really get the civil war that they looking for, that they trying to start, man, it's gonna be ugly for them. But all of these hoaxes, all of this Jesse Smollett type shit, all of this gaslighting, this is typical leftist media psyops, right? And they don't realize that every time they do this shit, it makes it less and less and less and less believable.
Fact.
Right? You have people that even came out right after after Charlie Kirk was shot, saying that, hey, this is my last day as a leftist. You know what I'm saying? It's only going to get worse for them. It's only going to get worse for them, man. Every time they do this, less and less people believe it, because it's a playbook that they've went to the well one time too many. I think that you know what? I think that I would say that Jesse Smollett, that was when Jesse Smollett, and it was a couple of fake hate crimes that was exposed at like really, really small black colleges, where they had the people had painted the swastikas themselves and all of that. After that, man, they had went to the well one time too many with this shit, with these psyops, and people don't believe them. That's why they don't went away from the cop shootings now, because people don't believe that shit no more. That's why you had these random like racial incidents now, because that's taking the place of the cop shootings. Pretty soon, people not gonna believe those either. They're not gonna believe them either. Watch.
All right, bet. Mr. O, you there, Playboy?
Yeah, I'm back. So this is the best they can do, right? I mean, so they want to go ahead and kick off a civil war and throw in a little race war, so they can go ahead and cover their tracks with the blacks, so they can stay on the plantation, vote blue no matter who. But they forget that's probably them. The so-called people they vote for, causing all this mass hysteria that they want to go ahead and send y'all through. All right, so y'all say they sent threatening emails or phone calls to HBCUs. You don't think the HBCUs ain't used to threatening emails, phone calls, anything of that nature, going back into this exceptions? You know what I'm saying? This is what they are used to. So even trying to get the blacks riled up and everything to go ahead and do some type of race war riding in people's cities and these college towns, that backfired on you leftists, and now look at y'all. Y'all making this man more into a martyr than y'all so-called trying to make him out to be a monster. Y'all playbook has been shown. Y'all using the Marxists of a divide and conquer from within. Y'all had failed at that notion because your IQs and your passion has basically led y'all here. Have y'all seen y'all mascots accepting rings, different color hair, bonnets, so-called quote-unquote sexual orientation leaning people are basically mentally unstable, and they cannot make good decisions. Therefore, they're not good patsies. And now you finding that out. Good luck to y'all in the 2028 election, because y'all gonna need it. Ain't that many illegals, so many dumbasses, so many feminists, so many soul boys that y'all can muscle, even so many liars that y'all can go ahead and mind control into that ballot. And that's because of it. And I pass the mic.
Well played. All right, good segment, gentlemen.
Hold on, real quick. Just real quick. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no problem.
If you all aren't seeing the through line here and what the real subtext here is, and you all are very well read and intelligent brothers, So, some of you all may know about this, some of you all may not. You know what I mean? We're not going to insult you all as an audience and assume that you don't know about it. But for those who may not know about it, we want to at least point to, some sources for you all to consider. So Tito mentioned the whole Juicy Smollett incident, right? And Mr. O mentioned, the handbook and the tactics that, these leftists, more or less use. So the subtext of this is, books like Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky, or, these sort of, leftist strategy and organizing books where they use these sorts of tactics to kind of create and agitate incidences just to, create, chaos to try to justify their ideology. In particular, you would see these, mass protests that quickly, quote unquote, turn into riots where, people are shipped in. You would see this, even, historically, where, a lot of, quote unquote, these famous people that, a lot of people even look up to have used some of these very same tactics. You follow me? Like, for example, I mean, I hate to mention this, but we would all hear about the Montgomery bus boycott or whatnot. A lot of people don't understand that, before it was, Rosa Parks, there was another lady. So then, begs the question, then how come they didn't go with the other lady? And, what sort of organizing or strategy or tactics were used? What sort of help or advice that they get from elsewhere to play these sorts of games? Now, don't get me wrong, it was needed at that time, at that place, or whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, be there as it may, all that stuff culminated in 1964, Civil Rights Act. But, which today we're still kind of even assessing, whether or not, there's even still some, or if at all there was even some benefit from. But this is some of the things that they traditionally drew from. And it's something to consider and think about. I like my playing there.
Well played. All right, guys, y'all made that a good segment. And all of the talking points I actually wanted to cover. All right, guys, we're putting on a good show tonight. Hitting all the markers. I'm gonna load up this next segment. Here's some Chat EBT in the meantime.
Introducing Chat EBT, the newest AI software limited only to 13% of people. Chat EBT isn't just another basic AI myth. It's built for real life situations. Let's showcase an example of a man asking for food recommendations.
I'm starving, gang. Let's open Chat EBT. What should I eat tonight?
ChatGPT is fully aligned with real-time data, giving you the most accurate, up-to-date definitions anywhere.
Define child support.
Unless you ask it to define child support. But ChatGPT isn't just about words or recommendations now. It helps with your everyday tasks and repairs, giving you the best solutions in real time. Here's an example.
Dude, this thing is so annoying, man. ChatGPT, how do I fix this?
You don't, Nick. Thank you all for your time today. We're excited for you to experience the future with ChatGPT. We'll see you soon.
That shit's hilarious. All right, good segue into our next segment. So let's do a deep dive real quick to frame the premise that I set up at the beginning. And when I actually mentioned Tito's initial prediction, post inauguration of Trump, and to double down. You see, I've got a poll in the chat, so I want to double down on this. Like, they got black people riled up with this. You know, the past statements as well as the fake threats sent to the HBCUs. I see people doing whole streams about it. It's crazy. Like, but let's get down to which I want to go to my initial premise. Like, this is the issue at hand is a ultra left wing, trans weirdo, ultra violent militia type organization going on / Antifa, and their fundamental problem with the Trump administration. They can't get to Trump, so what do? They get to his main supporter of his base that got him elected, and Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk runs Turning Point, and he's adamantly outspoken against the trans agenda. So this is the Benny Johnson show. I watch Benny Johnson because he does political content too. 5 million subscribers. But this is him doing a little expose about the shooter and about the whole environment around him, like the FBI starting to turn their entire resources into breaking up this trans dark web Reddit cabal that's going on, and that is well organized, armed, and ready to do more violence in the United States. They're basically a terrorist organization at this point. And like I said, Tito was the first one to call 2025, 2026 with the left, that their hallmark being trans violence. Like I said, when he said it, I thought it was a bit hyperbolic. I didn't, I was thinking more of the typical left-wing liberal playbook, but true to form. And this is happening right off the tail end of the Minnesota shooting of the children at the Christian school. So I'm gonna play some of this, and then I'll stop it, and then we'll take Tito at the top, past the Saul and everything. This is our bit of the deep dive into, and why I keep saying, this shit don't got nothing to do with black people. Like, fall back, let the Trump administration get in there, go to work on them. And as far as this in terms of policy and politics, and it's being directly or indirectly benefiting black men, we not with that trans shit either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Perfect opportunity for the weight of the federal government and the state to come down on it. They already took men out of competing in women's sports. We'll see far more stringent things happening from the government hereafter, and even cracking down on the media. But let's go.
We will know everything about the dark internet history chats and affiliations of Kirk's left-wing political assassin. They're trying something we're going to talk about in just a second. The source then alluded to some online groups attempting to delete or destroy evidence. Get ready. We know who they are. We have everything. We are focused. The radicalization element, the truth will not be hidden, buried, or classified. The public will know. So here's what we know so far. We know that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, is a extremist left-winger, that he's a Reddit kid, that he's someone who lived with his transgender boyfriend, who is a male transitioning to female, that he scrawled political iconography on his bullets that was Antifa and also LGBT iconography. Robinson's roommate has turned over all of their electronics to the FBI and has been outed here as an individual named Lance Twiggs. This, of course, follows a spate of transgender shootings, mass shootings, that have all been deadly and horrible. Charlie Kirk assassination, latest shooting committed by trans people and advocates. The neighbors of Charlie Kirk's assassin and his transitioning roommate spoke to the media and said they were wandering outside, dressed in all black with masks on. They were holding hands, kissing, and also there were some very, very, very strange vehicles that were outside of their house. The roommates are describing how out-of-state vehicles with out-of-state license plates went up to the house about a month ago, and that those vehicles were very, very strange. And the Charlie Kirk killer began behaving very erratically and very peculiarly after this. Here's for instance, a high school classmate of Tyler Robinson explaining.
With this Tyler Robinson kid, I'll show y'all. That's him right there, Tyler Robinson. I'm not trying to like clout chase, make this shit about me, but I'm not gonna say I knew this kid really well. I didn't know him very well at all, but I definitely saw him for like 3 straight years in high school. And the best way I could describe him is just like a Reddit kid. I don't know. I feel like if you were in high school around that same time, and even probably now, like 2018, and then like, you know, those kinds of kids, but that's exactly what he was. All I'm going to say is this is the kind of shit that happens when you spend way too much time online.
Yes. Yes. When you are groomed online by a terrorist organization, which is what this is. This is political terrorism. This is a political assassination. It's backfiring, but we're more involved. New York Post reporting that neighbors saw several people driving cars with out-of-state license plates going in and out of the apartment of Tyler Robinson and his transgender partner, Lance Twiggs, 2 weeks before the Charlie Kirk assassination. Who were they? What other groups may there be involved here? Well, let's jump on over to some reporting here from Axios that says that the administration is now looking into a number of far left-wing groups located in Utah that targeted Charlie Kirk. Breaking, the FBI and state agencies have launched investigations into multiple leftist groups in Utah for possible advanced knowledge of Charlie Kirk's assassination, per Axios. They're also probing whether or not these groups provided material support for the killing. At least one group deactivated their social media pages after the shot was taken. Well, what does that mean exactly? We're not entirely sure. There are, of course, new reports out now of some of Lance Twiggs' family members saying that they hated Christians, they hated Charlie Kirk, they hated conservative values, that Lance Twiggs was filled with hate, and leftist ideology ruled their lives. Family member saying that the boyfriend of Charlie Kirk's assassin had hostility towards anybody supporting conservative or Christian values. So here's one of the groups that has caused quite a bit of attention online. Interesting to see Salt Lake City's Antifa affiliate, militant arm of the Utah Trans Agenda, SLC Armed Queers, nuked their Instagram account. You'll notice here that they also have engraved bullets, just like the engraved bullets that struck Charlie. Remember, there was LGBT messaging on those engraved bullets. There was also furry messaging, transgender messaging, and anti-fascist messaging on those bullets. There's also a pretty stunning and horrifying series of posts from transgender activists who seem to have, at the very least, some type of foreknowledge about the Charlie Kirk assassination. You guys have something very big coming soon. Be sure to check out the news. You'll know when you see it. There's a lot of these. We effing did it. Right? These are some transgender accounts. I've been monitoring the FBI analysis, reviewing the reams of GPS data, and there very well may be dozens of co-conspirators. Ladies and gentlemen, the killer made sick jokes online just hours after the shooting. He was on Discord talking and exchanging and getting clapped on the back by his buddies. They have the screenshots of it. Yet Discord denies that he ever used the service. So they need a criminal subpoena immediately and right now. So this thing seems to be blowing open. Even Elon Musk saying it's a terror cell. And the extremely moderate governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, saying, no, this is extremist ideology, and confirming the transgender boyfriend once again today on CNN. Again, we will stay on top of this case. It is so important that we live in a peaceful, safe country, and we cannot do that with terrorists, foreign or domestic. Here we go.
You told the Wall Street Journal that it is, quote, very clear to us and to the investigators that this was a person who was deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology. Can you elaborate on that and be more specific?
Well, sure. So that information comes from the people around him, from his family members and friends. That's how we got that information. Again, there's so much more that we're learning, and so much more that we will learn. There will be official charges will be filed on Tuesday, and there will be much more evidence and information available then. And again, we're interviewing all kinds of people, everyone that knows him, and trying to learn more about what that motive actually was.
Well, some outlets are reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And yes, I can confirm that. I know that has been reported.
All right, bet. That's all I need. Tito, I'm gonna hand it off to you first, because Benny actually said it, and the FBI confirming that this is they're considering this a well-organized armed network, and they're labeling it a terrorist cell, and that out-of-state trucks came prior to this individual's home. So this is coordinated, out-of-state coordinated, and fomenting on the internet. Since you were the one to posit the that this would be a thing in 2025, I can't recall anyone else saying it. Mainstream news, other political analysts, and I remember. What say you now that it's actually come to fruition, and the research that Benny Johnson did on this video? What say you?
This is actually the full fruition of a prophecy that my grandfather made when I was younger. Remember, he was talking to one of his friends about the decision, I think in the late 70s, of the American Psychological Association to declassify homosexuality and, being, cross-dressing or being a transvestite as a mental illness. And he said it will ultimately lead to the ruin of the country. Now, one thing about the human mind is how malleable it is, and how epigenetic neuroelectrical impulses are passed through DNA and all of that. Does anybody think it's odd that even though firearms have been with us in the format that we know them in for about 700 years or so, think about that, the whole scale of human history, firearms have only been with us for a few seconds, if you will, because the firearm that we know, the handheld firearm as we know it, didn't come into existence until the late 1300s. So even though this has only been with us for 700 years now, if you observe little boys at play, the militaristic instinct in boys is still immutable, despite the establishment's attempts to try to eliminate it. So if you see little boys and they don't have access to toy guns, they'll get something that shapes like a gun and make that a toy gun. They'll get a stick or a broomstick and play like that's a rifle, right? So it's this militaristic instinct that boys are ingrained with, and this instinct to mobilize and organize and everything that is part of the psychological makeup of boys. But see, then once you get off into this transgenderism, then it metastasizes into something different, and you combine all of the militaristic instincts of boys with the capriciousness and the irrational thought patterns of a female, and see this is a natural and predictable result. And then when you add in the fact that they've been given all of these staticides and all of these favors by greater society and by the establishment, and you have people reacting negatively to that, then that only fuels the animus that they have towards our established society. And even though our established society is what gave them, the environment to spread their wings, if you will, they still want to pull down this society and to destroy it. They hate the thought of religion because they know that religion exposes them, right? When you talk about things like the Baphomet, they are the living physical manifestation of the Baphomet. If you look at the picture of the Baphomet, then you will see that it's of a like kind of a male chimera, but with female breasts. So this is the living embodiment of the Baphomet, and they know that various belief systems and everything expose them. Various belief systems speak out against them, such as in Deuteronomy when it says, you know, a man should not wear anything that pertaineth to a woman because it's an abomination, right? Because they understood back then the ruin that this could bring to society. And so, and then when it comes to the nuclear family, they know that the instincts of most fathers and mothers is going to be to stamp this out. So this is why they want to pull down the society. This is why they want to strike at religious people. This is why they want to destroy the nuclear family, because they want the upper levels of society want the lower levels of society to look like they weird Eyes Wide Shut conventions and they weird Bohemian Grove meetings. And these, sadly, they're gonna let these people. They've wound them up, and now they're gonna let them go, and they have grew beyond their control, and society is gonna be more ill for it. And I'll land my plane there.
Well played, sir. That was a brilliant analysis. Well played, Tito. Saul, yours. Same line of questioning.
You hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, this is the culmination of you know, people that, you know, people have looked at as you know, have done more to accommodate and adjust for. You know what I mean? I think generally society has taken the tone of, hey, y'all want to mess with each other? Y'all mess with each other. Just stay out of our way and leave the kids alone. But instead of that, they wanted more, you know, they wanted the kids. They wanted, you know, to control your life and your livelihood. And it went from, you know, quote unquote, wanting rights as they say that they wanted to, you know, wanting to, you know, create some sort of hegemonic, you know, projection of power as far as their way of life, their point of views, and their wishes and stuff like that, until, you know, people have put, you know, this sort of moralistic governing on it and said, hey, you know, too much is too much. And now, you know, the level of sort of entitlement coupled with the indoctrination and some agitators, and they're feeling a little bit of, you know, their power being wrestled out too. They're taking some sort of extreme measures, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, there's some sort of symbiotic relationship. I mean, it's fairly obvious where, you know, these people are more or less the armed wing of, you know, the sort of everyday Democratic Party that we're being presented with, you know. I mean, especially when you see all these damn lawmakers getting caught with trannies in their bedroom, you know. So this kind of confirms it in a sort of spirit of self-defense and the Second Amendment rights. You know, I think, gentlemen, you know, you all know, just to, you know, protect yourself, your family. You know, don't be on the offense or reckless or stupid or anything like that. But, you know, you know, this is where we at now, and it's unfortunate. So, whether it's, you know, terrorism with somebody, you know, coming over from overseas, or somebody who's trying to impose their life on us, or whatever the case may be, people have the right to defend themselves, their livelihood, their family and children, or whatever else. So That's where I'm at with it.
All right, well played. Lord of Brooklyn said something. He said, I'm interested how this intersects with Black Lives Matter. I remember in their original manifesto how they stated they were for transsexual rights and an end to the nuclear family. How about that? And that would explain some of the gaslighting to get the black populace involved in this and run basically running interference for this trans issue right now. And that's really what's happening with this gaslighting.
Yeah, well, speaking of gaslighting, a lot of them don't even want to acknowledge or even, point out the fact that that was their manifesto from the jump. Because I remember when it was first written, it was like, what kind of fruit cocktail shit is this? You know what I'm saying?
Because go ahead.
No, go ahead, Miss O.
No, I was done. Yeah, I was done. Go ahead.
Because they are trying, you seen it on their original website before they had to go ahead and rewrite it. They are trained Marxists.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the plot of a trained Marxist? What is their mission? And shout out to Dr. Thunder. He likes to go ahead and lambast this on his podcast a lot of times. What is the agenda of a trained Marxist? Isn't there a plot to get rid of the nuclear family?
Yeah, I mean it's all yours. I was about to pass it to you anyway. Go ahead, take us home.
All right, so yeah, it is indeed part of their agenda to get rid of the nuclear family, and the only way to get rid of the nuclear family is to remove the father from the household, remove the legacy, the lineage of the so-called father, and by doing that, you must go ahead and influence the woman, the mother, to make sure that it's necessary to continue that through the daughter to become a feminist and through the son to become a male soy boy feminist that no woman would desire to procreate with. Just like this Tyler Robinson character. Tyler Robinson is a product of the modern day MK Ultra program that we call Reddit and 4chan. He was influenced by these so-called chat rooms. I know he was probably one of these weak-minded individuals that didn't have an identity of his own. So he started to propagate in some of these so-called chat rooms, got influenced by these Marxists, these fascist, anti-fascist groups that led him astray down the wrong path. And now look at him now. I mean, politics, when they remove religion, remove the Bible, remove any type of dignity and culture from schools, they replace the politics. So politics is their religion, and it shows in their daily lives that they will go ahead and quote a so-called amendment, so-called right, before they will go ahead and quote a scripture or passage from the good old Bible. Another thing they had did is basically they had rewritten who is so-called crazy and who is not in that DSMV 4 book back in the 1970s, when they basically, like Tito said, like his grandfather said, when they took out the homosexual tendencies and acts and basically just out and all these other so-called mental illnesses that we let pass as so-called people expressing themselves and living their truth. They're crazy. They need their meds. We need sanitariums and mental institutions make them great again, make a comeback, because that's where these people belong. Now that your damn ballots are voting for Democrat and red states and big blue cities, and I'll pass the mic there.
All right, well played. A great segment, guys. Yo, shout out to Gunmetal Guy USA, man. I think our first actual, our longest standing channel subscriber, supporter, member, etc. He says, I honestly refuse to use the term partner outside of a financial business context. The ease it's been ingrained in the language is alarming. And Quiet Storm says, men are a society sanity check and pulse check. A lot of BS that goes on in the household. You remove him from the home, chaos and indoctrination can proceed. Exactly. And in the case, but people were wondering why Trump had this massive crackdown on the universities right at the beginning of his administration. This is another aspect of this, because this kid comes from a two-family home. His parents are actually Republicans, voted Trump. He got indoctrinated, turned out, and switched, literally and figuratively, as it were, at the university. These are indoctrination camps. All right, bet. We're going to do this final segment, and we're going to veer off. When Tito sent me the link, and exactly like what it is. We're going to veer off into something that is a concern for black men, the disenfranchisement of black men, and we're going to roll back to the immigrant and tether industrial complex, as it were. You guys like ChatEBT? Hold that for a
Introducing
minute.
ChatEBT, the newest AI software limited only to 13% of people. ChatEBT isn't just another basic AI myth. It's built for real life situations. Let's showcase an example of a man asking for food recommendations.
I'm starving, gang. Let's open ChatEBT. What should I eat tonight?
ChatEBT is fully aligned with real-time data, giving you the most accurate, up-to-date definitions anywhere.
Define child support.
Unless you ask it to define child support. But ChatGPT isn't just about words or recommendations now. It helps with your everyday tasks and repairs, giving you the best solutions in real time. Here's an example.
Dude, this thing is so annoying, man. ChatGPT, how do I fix this?
You don't, man. Thank you all for your time today. We're excited for you to experience the future with ChatGPT. We'll see you soon.
All right, bet.
ChatEBT.
I know, right? That shit gold. All right, y'all remember old boy killed them people in Florida? I believe he was Pakistani with the fake CDL license. A lot of my day ones back at home got CDLs. A lot of guys in trucking. I believe Brother Zeke's in trucking in the chat. So this one is Kenya secures American jobs deal with Nebraska. So this is a Kenyan company going to get a trucking contract bypassing American CDL drivers. And so I'm starting to call this the tether industrial complex. So
now, you do know that them people that the Indian had ran over was also tethers themselves. They was Haitian illegals. So just want to go ahead and put that out there so y'all won't get confused in the future.
Oh, hell yeah, let's go.
That kind of just slid to us over here on the OLX machine right here. And, well, let me just say, you read the title. You read it right. Let's dive into it. This should get your blood boiling if you are an American truck driver. Kenya secures American jobs deal for truck drivers through Nebraska partnership. Okay, you see that? Listen, don't mind that Schneider truck. That has nothing to do with Schneider that I'm aware of. Maybe someone else that's in Nebraska, totally different color. But we'll talk about that. Kenya has entered into a groundbreaking labor mobility agreement with Nebraska State that will open doors for Kenyan truck drivers to work legally in the United States. The timing of this agreement is particularly significant given President Trump's administration's heightened restrictions on illegal immigrations to the United States. The Nebraska deal ensures that Kenyan drivers will follow proper visa procedures and legal channels to enter and work in America, with participants requiring to meet all visa conditions and return to Kenya upon completion. The deal signed on Tuesday between Principal Secretary for Diaspora Affairs Roseline Njogu, okay, and Nebraska Secretary of State Robert Evnen, specifically targets licensed commercial truck drivers amid the significant shortage of truck drivers across America. Are you kidding? Listen, can I say this again? If we had such a driver shortage, don't you think that truck drivers would get paid more? Don't you think that you'd have the rates would be better? Don't you think that there'd be freaking freight sitting at the docks and brokers calling you, please come pick this up, we'll pay you anything. You'll have trucking companies calling people saying, hey, you got a CDL, please come work for us. That's not happening. You want to know why? Because the truck driver shortage is a myth. It's been a myth for decades, okay? That's something that the ATA, okay, tries to do to promote their self-driving trucks. They're trying to promote young people to drive, to keep wages down. And they're promoting people from foreign countries to come here to take your jobs and ultimately run over people. But then you ask, well, why Nebraska? Why is it Nebraska is the? How come it can't be another state? Why is this flyover state? Well, if you've been in trucking long enough, you know what's in Nebraska. These people right here, Werner Enterprises out of Omaha. Kenyan Principal Secretary Njoku seeks employment partnerships for Kenyan truck drivers with Werner Enterprises. Now, this is back last year, June 2nd, 2024. This guy is the CEO. This guy is the guy that ran. This is Derek Lathers for Werner Enterprises. He's a CEO over there. Guess he's tied to? That's right, the ATA, American Trucking Associations, or Anti-Trucker Associations. He is the ATA's second vice chairman. They're obviously, I exposed this in a video last week, that these guys are pushing for the driver shortage in autonomous trucks. Well, now we got this link to the ATA, working with foreign countries to bring Kenyan truck drivers to work in America, not only just for America, but for Werner Enterprises. How you like that, Werner drivers? Yo, Wiener wagons. Listen, like Super Trucker here on X says, the majority of their drivers have less than 90 days experience. I worked for these guys. I was a trainer for these guys. Let me tell you something. I've worked for a lot of companies, 2 mega carriers. I worked for 2 mega carriers, Werner Enterprises and Schneider. Okay. I went to, both places for different reasons. Schneider, because they had a dedicated account that I wanted to work on. And let me tell you, they treated you fairly. That's all. They're not sitting there giving you a bunch of free crap and all this, they're sitting there going, listen, they just treated me fairly. That's all. They paid me well. And I got the respect I wanted. Werner, they paid you like garbage, and they treated you like garbage. You were literally, this was talking about 20 years ago now. And you guys know, when you sit there talking about, oh man, 20 years ago, this company was so much better. You never sit there and hear a company say, yeah, 20 years ago, this company sucks. Now it's so much better. No, it always goes downhill, right? It always goes downhill. So do you think that Werner is better now to work for than 20 years ago when CL Werner was running it? Absolutely not. They treated you like garbage. You weren't a legit number for it. I'm just sitting there saying, and yes, it's that bad. It's that bad over there at Werner. And here's the deal. This right here is certain states. We have commercial truck drivers already who are being trained partially in Kenya, and then they'll complete their training in Nebraska. Yes, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go over and look at the Warner drivers, and it's a bunch of guys that can't speak English. Okay? And it's a bunch of guys that aren't even American. You know, get the heck out of here, freaking Warner. And then as I record this video, okay, not 15 minutes ago, Derek Lathers, he replies to maybe Danielle right here when we're talking about this. This is the CEO.
All right, bet. That's the gist of it. Brother Zeke says I worked for Warner almost 2 years. Now this shit. How about that? And he dropped the link in the chat also regarding Warner, so you guys could check that out. Guys, looks like we're gonna go a little bit over. We're already at the 150, so let's let this segment rock out. Go ahead, Tito. It's all yours.
Hey, this is par for the course. I keep telling y'all, these companies will crawl under a barbed wire fence to find a way to disenfranchise a so-called black man. Now, this same company, some of the people that I went to truck driving school with, this same company wouldn't let people drive for them because they had dope cases before and shit like that. But they will come and import some niggas rather than give you a job. And you know what? I agree with you know what the guy was saying, that the original content creator of this video. But one part that he's probably missing is that, you know what? You know what a big warning sign to white society should be? A big warning sign to white society should be that when you see these Gen Z black men, you hardly ever see them with a black woman. And if they see you with a black woman, that they'll look at them crazy, right? That should be a warning sign to them. You know why? Because the next generation of black men, not only will they not have any loyalty to the plantation, they won't have any loyalty to the United States. Every time, you know, these young boys now that's like in 4th grade and 5th grade, they see shit like this, and they get inundated by shit like this. They see Sha'Carri Richardson running up on her boyfriend in the airport, and then they see the fingernails, and those are the same fingernails in the photo shoot on the Nike ad. They see that. They see the female cop basically raping a man and not getting suspended from the job and still have a badge and everything. They see that. And if you keep sending the message loud and clear that, hey, we don't really care if you work or not. Hey, you really don't have the right to self-defense. Hey, we really don't view you like a human being. Then what fucking incentive does a young black man have for getting a job, joining the military, any of this shit? None. They are totally alienating black men out of this fucking society. But then when black men decide to get the fuck up out of the society, everybody's gonna have a problem with it. Don't nobody want niggas living next to them. Don't nobody want to date niggas. But if niggas conducted a mass exodus to fuck up out of here, they will lose their goddamn minds. But it's crazy that they will rather bring in people that don't understand the traffic patterns here, don't understand the driving here, just to disenfranchise a black man. And even this guy that's making that's making this video, right? Even people like this that complain about it are part of the fucking problem too, because they will look the other way when they see it happening. People like this are part of the problem too, because when they hear something about a sundown town that black truckers don't want to go to, they look the other way. When they hear about towns that black truckers disappear in, they don't say nothing. Well, why don't the government look into that? They all are part of it too. But I'm telling you, when niggas decide that this ain't for them no more, oh, it's gonna be hell to tell the captain. I'll land my plane there.
Machismo, you muted.
Damn, that's me muted. My bad, y'all. I was getting ready to say, Saul, it's all yours.
I would say this, man. You know, quite honestly, I mean, this has been, you know, a constant thing or whatever, you know, with them to, you know, try to continue to push us to the peripheries. And Tito is right. But if niggas do leave, then they all gonna cannibalize each other when we're not around. I mean, this is, a system that's built on hierarchy. So it'll be fun to just sit back in a damn tropical island with a damn Cambodian bitch or something like that and watch this shit, look at, what happens here. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, like people do try to jump through all these hoops and do all of what they can to try to undermine brothers being able to be employed. But I would say as best as one can, you know, you put time, energy, and effort in the things that you want to be great at. I mean, a lot of people put time, energy, and effort into, looking good. A lot of people put time, energy, and effort into cars, jewelry, and other things. But if people were to put time, energy, and effort in having their own business, somebody is going to, pop. And I would say, at this point, you know what I mean? Whether it is, government or private business, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, we all we got, and that's the way to think about these things. And I'll land my plane there.
Well played, Mr. O. It's all yours, Playboy.
You lazy. You don't want to work. Black man, you don't want to work. You've been in this country ever since 400 years. Yes, 200, you were slaves, but you had got lazy. Yeah. That's what they'll tell me while trying to call me a kata, all that good stuff. They'll tell me I'm just a violent, low IQ dude that want to get no decent American job, despite the fact that the CEO, Mr. Leathers, Mr. Leathers' salary is like about $900,000 a year, and he get paid 100 times more out of the company than any parts of the company that it is. So y'all won't mess up his so-called revenue. That's why he got to import these tethers, these dudes that want to go ahead and tell me that they got out the mud, that they worked hard, despite the fact they ain't got the dexterity, the so-called what's the word I'm looking for, motor skills to actually maneuver in the vehicles over here in the West. We get the same situation that happened in Florida with the Indian guy running over the Haitians over on the freeway that nobody want to talk about no more. You know what I'm saying? But I digress.
Boulele Transports USA.
Man.
Boulele.
Boulele. Boulele. No, I got balls from Tito. Yo, don't Warner, and Mr. Leather, don't you ever disrespect FBA black man by going ahead and get some of these so-called they not even niggas, you know what I'm saying? They are fucking Africans. How dare you? The black man had made the profession what it is, you know what I'm saying? Y'all even look down upon that. Y'all hijacked it from us. Then y'all go ahead and try to give it to somebody that even is us. You know what I'm saying? Don't you ever disrespect us. And I pass the mic.
All right, but guys, we at the 1 hour 58-minute mark. Let's get closing statements. Get the hell up out of here. I'll start with you, Saul. What you got for the chat and the replay gang?
Hey, salute y'all. Hey man, somebody roasted me in the chat talking about I'm cooking up a fresh batch of bush meat and giraffe chitlin. But I would say, man, yeah, I mean, it's looking like, the chess pieces are on the board and, we're seeing how it's going. So we're seeing how it's going. We made it abundantly clear tonight, you all as individuals, just be careful how y'all move, because we're moving into an era of high political volatility. To me, this has been the most tense since I would say 2014, 2015, when all that, woke shit first arrived anyway, So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
All right, bet. Tito, how are you?
Yeah, just avoid political conversations from here on out, man. You might make yourself a mark, man. It's crazy now that we live in a time where somebody will hunt you down just because of a difference of opinion. But sooner or later, y'all go get to see that a lot of this shit I was telling y'all, man, since 2014, y'all go see it materialize right in front of y'all face. And I'll land my plane down.
All right, bet. So all yours, Mr. O. Take us home.
Yeah, this has been a strange course of events that has transpired throughout this entire week. We literally are in strange of times, even probably like a repeat. Charlie Kirk's assassination on live social media. I guess that's like a first of its kind going into this new technological age. Kennedy was assassinated on TV, and Kirk now being assassinated in front of worlds around the world, in real time. It's just crazy. Then to find out that the person that basically took him out fits the agenda of people that say that another party does these atrocities. These so-called sick, demented people also been trying to sweep it under the rug and send out hoaxes, trying to get people riled up for not only a race riot, a race war, but a civil war amongst a country that's already divided when it's supposed to be unified, at these tumultuous times. Maybe this upcoming midterms, things will go back to being the status quo. But I think we are basically here for a new frontier of thought. New political landscape is about to arise because the Democrats are done. Left liberal agenda is done for. So I don't know what's going to be a new, more conservative nation or a more independent nation going forward. So we'll see. And again, RIP to Charlie Kirk, even though I really ain't got no dog in the fight, but it was just messed up to see that man get taken out like that in front of his wife and child. And I'll pass the money.
All right, facts. Y'all wildin'. This nigga said medium rare rhino ankles. Word, son. This is an American douchebag production.
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. This indeed has been an American douchebag production. Thank you, International Quiet Storm.
Yo, that shit, the fucking medium rare rhino ankles. Y'all niggas is wild. That's funny as hell. All right, guys, that's a wrap. We are at the 2 hour, 3 minute mark, a little bit over overtime. I want to say thank you to my panel once again. Every Sunday helping me do a great Sunday show, which you guys are accustomed to, as it were. And I think the Charlie Kirk segments, we did a good job at laying out the pieces on the board, as it were. I want to say what's up to my chat. Man, thanks for coming by and supporting us every Sunday, man. We can't do it without you. We'll see you tomorrow. And like I always say about now, I want to say good night and good luck.
Here's another classic. The definition of hip hop. Here's another classic. The definition. Chemistry. Here's another classic. The definition of hip hop. Here's another classic. The definition. Chemistry. Here's another classic.
So, Keisha, what's a high value man to you?
A man that gave me 10 kids, 3 evictions, $10 on Cash App, and still pull up in a Nissan Altima that sound like it got asthma.
So, Keisha, what's a high value man to you?
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
Sure enough.
Hey, where's Stewie? That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter.
There it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Stewie Griffin. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.